So, just a quick recap of where we are in this Emma thing. Week one, we talked about Emma in season one, how she was catfished by this older gentleman, and how it led to a few things, including the Liberty Armstrong angle, in which Emma was worried about Liberty being taken advantage by Armstrong because she was taken advantage by an older man, but it wasn't meant to be. And her worrying about Manny being sexualized as a cheerleader, Emma felt that people were going to see Emma made for her sex appeal. Season two, week two was season two about how she blew up at her mom dating her teacher. I mean, what student likes that? Um, Spike about to abort baby Jack before Emma stepped in, and of course the whole thing with Raj and GMO foods, in which nobody won in that argument. And last week we talked about Emma in season three, but not with her blow up with Emma. Yeah, with Emma with Manny. That was kind of Manny's fault. Emma was just trying to protect Manny. Manny was not happy, saying, "You're so jealous." I mean, Emma kind of had it in the right mind, but no, the season three thing was about the father figure, the father she never knew she had, or she had fuzzy memories of, and basically Snake set her right when Spike was of little help. So it's week four, season four, and man, this is not going to be good. It's weird how one tiny little Emma stupid moment almost cost her her life. Confused? Well, I'll tell you all about it. All in all, it's just bricks in Emma's wall. Face it, Emma, you're much hated. We know that things kinda make you jaded. That's okay though, everyone goes through them. But you have to let people in your wall. Putting up a wall is not what you really have to do. People will help you and make you overrated. It's just the bricks in Emma's wall. So practically, Emma in the first three seasons was really not liked by a lot of people and all that. That's for sure. So by season four, Emma had a different face to her. Emma in season three actually found Chris as a boyfriend who was African American. It was nice to see Emma dating outside her race. So Emma and Chris were a decent couple, but unfortunately, that almost blew up in Emma's face when, she was so jealous over Sean. Well, Sean stole Snake's laptop that she went nuts and nearly lost her relationship with Chris. Eventually, over the summer, as the season four premiere said, Emma and Chris broke up. Liberty and Towers broke up, and so did Toby and Kendra. Of course, Kendra would never be seen or heard from again. But the fact of the matter was that Emma now didn't have a boyfriend. And so in the third episode, I can't remember what it was, the one before Mercy Street, she ends up hooking up with Chris, talking to Chris, and they should grab a coffee together. And, they talk about how the breakup is all that. In math class, Manny tells Emma about Liberty falling for Chris and all that. And Emma realizes she has to do something about it. Manny sees fit and tries to help Emma get Chris back, making sure Liberty isn't with Chris. But Emma said, "That's not the reason why I don't want Liberty and Chris together." It isn't? No. It's just that, what would people think about me if Chris goes out with Liberty? Are you crazy, Emma? Like, all that. Manny calls Emma out on her bullshit. And of course, Liberty calls Emma out. Emma just basically said, "I guess I just am not over Chris." Liberty says, "Well, I'm over you. Go to hell." And basically, Emma loses both Liberty and Manny as a best friend. Now, I may be a partial Emma apologist, but Emma did not deserve any sympathy for this. Emma blew it. Emma was so jealous with rage about Liberty being with Chris, and hating on Liberty for many reasons. Race probably is not one of them. I hope it isn't. Nevertheless, Emma basically said that he did. If Liberty dates Chris, what does that mean about her? I mean, who cares? Emma, for one thing, you don't care about what people think about your genetically modified foods crusades and your other causes and all that. You don't care what people think, especially Radish. But for you to say that and to actually care about what people think of you, well, if you cared about what people think of you, then stop doing these causes. So, Emma was just plain dumb. And I get it. Like, Emma didn't have anybody. Obviously, Sean was with Ellie. She and Chris broke up. I bet $1 donuts Chris broke up with her, not wanting to deal with her bullshit. It also brings to mind that people have said that Emma somehow got a glow up. And if you look at season 3 Emma and season 4 Emma, there's a point. Emma was more beautiful. And I think that Emma thought she was above her own station, to coin a phrase. Emma felt she could find a boy and maybe broke up with Chris trying to find somebody, but no one was available for her. Was she jealous of Manny being with Craig and all of them? Yes, absolutely. She was. But that's a different topic that I'll be covering later on in this 10-part miniseries. You gotta wait a while. But the fact of the matter is that Emma probably was jealous of everybody having boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever you want to call it, and thinks that she could do it. And she didn't want to go back towards Chris. She didn't want to have to, go back towards Chris. I don't know how to say it, of course. But the fact of the matter is that Emma now lost Liberty and Manny. Perfectly placed. Emma deserved it. Yes. Now, in Mercy Street, in the subplot about JT and his stack of dimes, if you will, there was the scene with the hot tub party in which Manny wants to fight Emma, saying Emma likes hot tubs, and Liberty basically says she's the scum of the earth, and Manny shrugs it off. Manny, I think, did not completely want to push Emma off the ledge like Liberty did, but Emma deserved it. Of course, you know what Mercy Street comes up with. Emma finds Paige's clique talking about how disgusted they are that Rick's back at the grass seat and Radish is not doing a thing about it. And they explain to Emma all about what happened to Terry and that Rick put her in the hospital. And Emma says, we need to do something about it. So Marco and Alex, who were student council president and vice president-elect in the previous episode, go to talk to Radish. Of course, CTV did the stupid thing by not allowing it to be shown first time. And basically, Marco and Alex try to get Radish to think it's a bad idea. But all Radish says is that Terry's in private school, can't talk about what matters. And also that, there were no criminal charges. And a student will study at my school without criminal charges, like it or not. Like, he understands that people are not going to be happy without Rick coming back. And Alex says, this isn't about GPA. This could be, because it's a possibility due to the fact that there was a background scene in an episode in the season 4 premiere, in which Radish has to talk to Armstrong about the budget, saying that I didn't get the money for the budget. Your supplies will have to come in late. Maybe Radish thinks the school board will give him more money. But the fact of the matter is that Radish shoots down Marco and Alex, and they realize it. Emma decides to step in front of Rick in the hallway, saying, we don't want you at our school. But Radish is behind her and says, Emma, please let him leave. We don't want him at our school, sir. This is not one of your stupid crusades. I'm warning you, stay out of this. This doesn't concern you. What the fuck, Radish? I know Emma is a bad person, but Radish, her crusades are stupid. This is about domestic violence. It's not stupid. Get through it. Well, Radish kind of has lost his marbles and basically a little too big for his britches as principal, if you will. But the fact of the matter is that I shook my head. I said, Emma is going to try to destroy Radish. She did it with the GMO foods thing when Emma was threatened with suspension if she didn't apologize for everything. Like the food fight, yeah, she admitted it and then said that, my free speech was ruined. So she basically decided to change her fight and go after Radish in that episode. And that kind of got Radish to be like, chewed out and all that. The fact of the matter is that Emma goes to Paige, and Paige says that no, there's a monster in our school and nobody cares to do anything about it. And Emma says, we'll make sure everything happens. We'll figure something out. So she teams up with Paige. She's easily coursed to Paige's group because, she's out of her clique with Manny and Liberty. And she tells Manny and Liberty off saying, enjoy your hot tub. I'm going for a green tea with Paige. So basically, Paige and Emma come up with the idea for orange ribbons. Students will buy them, put them on, and try to dispel Rick from coming to Degrassi, basically silently forcing him out without breaking any rules. Raj kind of looks at it, but can't really do too much. So, unbeknownst to Emma, her orange ribbon campaign did not work so well. Students figured it was a perfect excuse to destroy Rick and beat him up. And the staff members didn't really do too much except for Quan, but nothing happened. And let's face it, the student body had reason to. Well, yeah, Rick's a domestic domestic abuser. The fact of the matter also is that with the school, especially Radich, not helping out the students with the Rick situation, that the students decided to take matters in their own hands. They're saying, well, if the administration won't do anything about it, we will. And they had a right to get mad. Radich didn't do anything. He didn't even put an announcement or an assembly for why Rick comes back or even explain to the students in any shape or form. If he had done that, then possibly some of the students would have backed off saying that, oh, we can't do anything about it. But then Raj probably thinks that they'll go to the cops and undermine him. What a prick. Nevertheless, Emma then is approached by Rick for over $500 to end this crusade. Emma looks at the check, Alex snatches it and rips it up, and then shoos Rick away. Then she tells Emma, after Emma says, Alex, that money could have helped the cause. Alex tells about how she is victimized. Her mom's been victimized by her boyfriends, and they have to sleep in women's shelters, and she has to help her mother cry herself to sleep. Are you serious? Like, okay, Alex has a point by basically thinking that Emma's selling out for the money. Well, this is Emma's cause. Emma's thinking about the cause, not the effect. Unfortunately, Alex tells Paige this information, and Paige says, you better not be chickening out on us. And then to prove her loyalty, to kind of phrase, she sticks out her foot and trips Rick. Rick goes to talk to Emma, but the boys think something's afoot and basically pound on him. Emma decides to stop it before it gets too far. Unfortunately, though, it gets her the score of Paige's friend group saying, your cause is over, Emma. No cause is worth this. Basically, everyone ignores her from Paige's clique. She's left dealing with Rick, who tells her that they'll see the true me and all that. And Emma says, I don't think they're ready for it. They'll find out. They'll see. Like, Rick now feels that he's got something going. He's got Emma's sympathy, even though that Emma does cover her bases saying, this doesn't mean I like you. It just means that I felt sorry for you. Now with Paige's clique ignoring her, Manny and Liberty pretty much ignoring her, and let's face facts, the school ignoring her in a sense because, either A, they're upset with Emma stopping this orange ribbon campaign by helping Rick, or B, the fact that Paige may have spread rhetoric about Emma. I think it's a combination of both. So all Emma has left is the Quiz Bowl team. That is with Toby, Rick, and Heather Sinclair. The same Heather Sinclair that Emma talks smack about in Mercy Street. Emma is so despondent with no friends. She has to deal with Heather. She has to be friends with Heather Sinclair, of all people. So basically, in the Quiz Bowl group, she's just got two boys who are lusting after her. Yes, Toby had a lust for Emma. The first season and a half, you can see it. But yeah, Rick now has a lust towards Emma. Rick and Toby do a kissing bet. Emma kisses them out of sympathy, both of them. And, doesn't realize how much Rick now has the power to be around Emma. Rick gets bullied and all that. Jimmy is now put on the Quiz Bowl team because of Heather's mono, which could have happened thanks to Craig. Craig may have had a thing for Heather, and that's why Craig was sick in that subplot in Time Stand Still and all that. It's possible. I mean, I understand. I think it's far-fetched, but whatever. So anyway, Emma is stuck with Rick, Toby, and now Jimmy. Rick doesn't want Jimmy on the team. Toby says, just go to Simpson. I can't do that. And then Rick goes to Raditch. Unfortunately, he's not straightforward. People forget that if Rick was more straightforward to Raditch, Raditch would have had to do something. But Raditch shooes Rick away. Yes, he should be blamed for that. But my main sentence about Raditch is Raditch didn't let Rick down. He let the school down by having Rick come to the school, come back. Simple as that. I'm sorry, but that's the way I am. Nevertheless, Jimmy actually stands up for Rick after Rick tells him that now that Spinner, Jay, and crew are harassed him, now they know that Toby is affiliated with Rick and want to go after Toby. So Emma sees the conversation, hears the conversation, and realizes that maybe it's too late. But yeah, Jimmy stands up to Spinner, Alex, and Jay. Of course, those three were the last three to really go after Rick. Not even Paige. So regardless of that, Emma is on the Quiz Bowl team against Northern Tech, and she's worried. But Rick talks to Emma saying, thanks for your suggestion that I should get things with Jimmy. And Emma shrugs it off, not realizing the full scope. So basically, Rick makes advances towards her, holds her hand at the end of the end of regulation, and then whispers when he goes up for the tiebreaker, "This is for you." Hope you caught that. But yeah, so he wins the competition. Unfortunately, he gets painted and feathered thanks to thanks to Spinner, Jay, and Alex, and he's laughed at. Emma finds Rick in his outfit and basically decides to talk to Rick, saying, no one's going to remember this. They're going to remember who won the quiz competition for us. Yeah, right, Emma. So Rick kisses Emma and basically is upset that Emma blows him off, saying, I thought you liked me. I pitied you. Get a clue. And Rick is forlorn with his stuff. Emma then talks to JT, Danny, and Toby at the picnic table about the whole sequence of events. And Rick comes back to the school. Toby tries to head Rick off at the pass, saying it's cool and all that if you leave. But of course, Rick does whatever he does. So in short, he basically goes after Paige, but then Paige says everything's childish. He puts the gun back in his locker and then gets stripped by Spinner and Jay about Jimmy, shoots Jimmy, and then conveniently finds Emma, Sean, and Toby and wants to destroy Emma, saying she's on his list, and not in a good way. So basically, Sean tries to calm Rick down. He does a good job, but Rick says, it's too late, I already shot somebody, and goes after Emma, but Sean wrestles him with the gun, shoots him with the gun, game over. But we don't know what happened. Sean has a bandage on his arm, and we find out that Rick is dead. Of course, lots of blame are passed around. Snake wants to blast Raditch for his mishandling of the Rick situation. Raditch basically doesn't like it, says, I have 700 students. How was I supposed to know someone was going to overreact to some spilled paint? Like, Snake had insight. Why was Snake not more proactive towards Raditch? So basically, yeah, that poor Emma had to deal with all that, having someone die in front of her. Or even shot. So Emma unfortunately goes through the motions, and Back in Black, she does hug Sean, saying, thank you for saving my life and all that. And then she goes to Wasaga Beach with Sean and crew because Sean wants to confront his parents for making some kind of lie about him. So she goes to Wasaga Beach. Sean apologizes to Emma about what happened the previous year, and Emma says ancient history. But then she looks very forlorn when Sean decides to stay with his parents at Wasaga Beach and deal with his PTSD. I mean, I understand Sean having PTSD and all that, but Emma looked forlorn. You would never guess about Emma's bad luck in Secret in the next few episodes. She seemed fine. Unfortunately, Secret proves that Emma isn't fine. She's been internalizing it. And this is not the first or last time Emma internalizes shit. So basically, she's not doing well in Dracula. She keeps being kicked off the squad, then put back on. In, out, in, out, in, and out. Perino basically tells Emma the grace period is over. You have to participate in class and all that. Many people take years to deal with a gun being interfaced and a shooting and someone dying in front of her. Perino, I mean, I understand, but dude, if Snake found out, Snake would have destroyed you like a tomahawk. Of course, Emma's back on the Dracula thing. because Dracula was once canceled by Radich, but put back on by Hatzilakos after she replaces Radich, and Radich is rightfully turfed, basically reassigned. The school board kind of needed to. But the fact is that Emma is not herself. Snake and Spike talk about how Emma is withdrawn from her friends and all that. Doesn't have people over, doesn't go out. What can you do? Emma tries to calm her parents down by saying she's fine, but we all know Emma's internalizing. I actually don't know if she really had the friendship with Manny and Liberty back, because I know they broke off with her. But my feeling is that Manny and Liberty kind of comforted her during the past few months after the shooting. So then she finds inspiration from the most unlikely person, the devil on everyone's shoulder, J. fucking Hogarth. Sorry, that's just how I feel. But the fact of the matter is, Jay Hogarth, to me, is the worst living character in Degrassi history. I know you can say Peter, but Jay had too much impact on people through, 5 seasons of the show, which Peter had, 2 seasons of hatred. But the fact of the matter is that, I hate Jay with vengeance. Nevertheless, he does get Emma to not be herself, and she goes to the ravine to try to be a better person. So, unfortunately, though, the ravine... Emma got back into control and all that. She even controlled Jay for a while. She got the bracelets and all that. She gets caught sneaking out at 2 in the morning. And she cries crocodile tears saying that, she had to take a walk at 2 in the morning. Look at her clothes. You really think Spike and Snake are fooled by this, Emma? If you had decent clothes, like jogging pants and all that stuff, believable, but not so fast. So basically, Snake figures something's wrong with Emma. She doesn't clue him in, and then when they're talking about gonorrhea and the fact that Alex and Amy are out of the play thanks to Jace, deceased, Emma then gets shafted because they figure that because she's with Jay at the ravine that she's got gonorrhea, and Manny kind of spilled the guts and everyone avoided Emma as if she hasn't been avoided by the school enough. So she does lash out at Jay in the famous line, "You gave me a social disease." And then Emma realizes that she has to step out of it. Her zombie Emma phase is over. She realized she might have had gonorrhea. I think she did. I think she got rid of it. It can be cleared up. And so basically she felt bad, and she probably felt like, she deserved it. I think she probably figured that it was punishment for what she did to Rick. I doubt that highly. And the school kind of had a role to play. So yeah, it was kind of weird how Emma, her envy of Chris being with Liberty could lead to her losing Manny and Liberty as friends, because that would have been a great work of allies. And if she had questions about Rick's advances, she could have got Manny and Liberty as allies to figure out what to do about it. And maybe she would have saved herself some grief. But she lost both of them. She lost Paige's clique because she defended Rick from a beating from Alex, saying that the cause was taken incorrectly. Emma had a right to. The school basically shunned her. She was left with the Quiz Bowl team and then almost died at the hands of one of the Quiz Bowl members and all that. And then turned into zombie Emma. She was internalizing everything. I don't know if she talked about the whole Rick situation after season 4. I don't know if she talked about it. I don't know. Did Snake force her into therapy? I don't know. You couldn't really tell. So yeah, it's weird how all that, and then she got gonorrhea, and she probably felt like the social disease was punishment for her role in Rick's thing. I say bullshit. Emma would have thought about it anyway. The school basically shunned her, and she was left alone with Jay and all that. So and her internalizing it was just another brick in Emma's wall. And it leads to a lot of things in the next few weeks I gotta touch upon. You think that's dark? Season 4. What next week we talk about season 5 in one of, if not the biggest Emma mistake in history. What she did was just terrible. And no, I'm not talking about eating disorder. I'm talking about PETER. If you get my drift. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching. I do.